As you know, nothing can prepare you for the struggles that you will face once you get home after having a stroke. But there are 5 essential steps you can take to gain control of your health and recovery, no matter how functionally limited you may be. So let's take a look at what those are. So the first step I want to talk about is safety. Not only is it important to use your recommended device for mobility, whether it be a walker, hemi-walker, or cane, but also consider bathroom safety. If you weren't really educated about the different equipment you can use in the bathroom, then I just want to quickly and briefly go over a few examples. To get in and out of the tub or shower, you can install grab bars or use an edge of tub grab bar. There are shower stools you can put inside the tub, or there's an over the tub transfer bench. Always be sure to use a non-slip mat in a handheld shower, which makes things easier as well. For the toilet, you can get a raised toilet seat. Just be sure it has lock and handles. There's also a toilet safety frame, which provides arm support only. And then lastly, you can use a bedside commode over the toilet if need be. Now, if your insurance doesn't provide coverage for any of the bathroom safety items, then be sure to check out local medical equipment loan agencies. They're throughout the U.S. You can Google it, see if there's any near where you live. You can also check out VFW. And perhaps send a family member to Goodwill or Salvation Army. Make sure the equipment's in good working order before you make any purchases. But those are just some cheaper ways other than having to buy it right up retail price from the store. Aside from medical equipment, another thing about safety is to always have your phone with you if someone is not always around you at the time. That way, if you do have a fall or need somebody, it'll be readily handy. Now, you can take your phone, you can stick it in your pocket, or perhaps you could put it in a tote on your walker, or you can even have like these little fanny packs you can get that you can just put in for your phone. So no matter where you are, you'll always have a connection to an emergency contact. And finally, regarding safety, if you don't ever feel safe doing something, if you're by yourself or doing an activity, then just ask someone to be with you. They don't necessarily have to be there to help you if you don't need the help, but just having that person nearby can be really comforting when you first get home. Second essential step is to establish a regular daily home exercise program to address the functional deficits you may have. Now, if you were in the hospital and your therapist gave you some exercises to do while you were there, then just plan on following through with them every day at home. And you know, when you go home, a lot of times people are just extremely fatigued, your body's been through a lot, your brain's trying to heal. So if you can establish, you know, even a 15-minute time slot 3 times a day to do the recommended exercises, then and do them consistently every day. You don't have to do the same exercises, but you know, you can alternate the exercises. Just the point is, the more consistent and the more repetitive you can be, the greater chances of you regaining some of that functional movement. Now, if you go home and you haven't had much therapy, but you definitely notice some deficits, then YouTube can be a great source for videos on how to address certain areas that may be bothering you. There's a lot of resources out there, but if you go to YouTube and look under the specific area you're having a problem with, be it fine motor or be it walking or balance, then go ahead and check those videos out. Now, the third point is to use that affected limb as much as you can in daily activities. Again, the more you can consistently and repetitively use that arm or hand or leg as in mobility, the better your chances of regaining some good functional movement. If you can't use your affected extremity in your daily activities, then you really need to find a way to assist it in order to accomplish that task. For example, if you have a hard time grasping a hairbrush, you can use your unaffected hand to help hold your affected hand and then go ahead and complete the task. Another example may be using that affected hand to hold a cup, but if you don't have the grasp or the coordination to do it, wrap your unaffected hand around it and then, take your drinks that way. Another example may be to find a way to actually adapt the items that you use every day. And one example is you can use foam cylinders, or this is a pool noodle. I cut about 1 inch out, wrap some tape around to make the hollow end a little bit smaller. That way you can stick a toothbrush in there and it's easier to grasp with your affected hand. You can actually use your unaffected to support it as well. You can use the cylinder also for utensils. And that way, again, you have a better grasp, or go ahead and use both hands. If you want some more examples on how to use your affected limb in day-to-day activities, then look below in the description box and I'll leave a link to a prior video I did on that very subject. The fourth step that's essential for recovery is to really connect with other survivors. And there's some great groups out there. They're through social media, Facebook groups, Instagram. Nobody understands having a stroke better than someone who's been through it and who's working through it along with you. So there's not only does it offer you support, but problem solving with issues you may have as well. If you're able to go out in the community, there may be some community support groups. You can contact your local hospital to see if they can recommend a support group around you as well. And you can always reach out to the Stroke Foundation and see what they have to offer. And then finally, the fifth essential step is to note your progress, to write down or reflect on your accomplishments. Recovering from stroke can be a long, arduous journey, so it's important to look at the small gains you've made, the daily victories, the daily wins, the daily positives. Before you go to bed at night, it may be a struggle at first, but try to get in the habit of finding what went well. Matter of fact, you can even start with a video of yourself upon returning home doing something, and then maybe once a month make a new video so you can actually look at how far you've come, because it's so important to be able to stay positive throughout this process. Unfortunately, there's no way to really prepare for life after stroke once you get home from the hospital. But hopefully this video will get you thinking about some things you can do to help the process along. So good luck, and until next time.